Georgetown Prep, some first 2 weeks of the season showing a real reality check to some of the private school teams around the area. Yeah. And when you knock off Gonzaga 42-0, that's a bit of a statement game to the other teams you're going to be playing later in the year.
Yeah, it's a statement game to Gonzaga, too. Georgetown Prep had lost to the Eagles the last 2 years, and I think they really wanted to come out, especially that senior class, and win that Jesuit rivalry game in their last go-around, and they did it. And yeah, like you said, I think people have had their eyes open a little bit and are looking at the Little Hoyas right now.
And for Landon, coming off a season last year where they had a lot of senior leadership on offense, both at quarterback and at running back, they come out with a nice win on the road, and when a team like that goes on the road, you never know what you're going to get, but they played nicely against Mercersburg and come up with a win.
Yeah, Landon's looking real good, too. I know they fell just short of an IAC title last year. That's definitely the goal this year. So new faces, same story for Landon. You know, it's the ground game on offense. It's the tight defense, and it looks like it's clicking there, too. So very good week for Montgomery County private schools.
Look to our email questions. Anytime you want to get in and ask a question, just go to the email, put your name on there, and let us know what you want to talk about. Of course, Quince Orchard, Damascus. Mike goes to Quince Orchard, so of course he wants to know what the score is going to be when he says Quince Orchard beats Damascus.
Well, he'll have to see on Friday. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm sorry, Mike, but I think that's going to be a heck of a game. And if you're underrating Damascus because of the number of people that graduated, I wouldn't recommend that.
Early on, as we take a look at some of the standings around Montgomery County, no real surprises here at the top with Sherwood, but Blair out to that 2-0 start. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're really the story of the season so far early on. Like I say, snapping what was an 11-game losing streak with their first 2 wins in such convincing fashion. Their quarterback, fullback, linebacker, Dane Bolt, 18 carries so far this year and already up over 200 yards. He's averaging double figures. Whether they're for real or not, again, we'll find out this week, but they really look impressive so far.
And really no surprises here with Quince Orchard out to that 2-0 start. Northwest, a team that had a tough game against Seneca Valley. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but a team that, from what we saw, is really going to be knocking on the door and could really be a formidable opponent for Quince Orchard in that division as the season moves along.
Yeah, very much so. I think anybody who was at the game or is about to watch the game now knows that it really could have gone either way. Northwest was not outclassed by Seneca by any stretch of the imagination, and they're going to be there all year, and it's an even-numbered year, so Northwest is due to make the playoffs again.
And Damascus out to a 2-0 start, as is Seneca Valley. I know Paint Branch disappointed playing up 3A to 4A, losing to Sherwood. But when they get into the division, it looks as though that really, as you look at the division, Damascus, Seneca Valley, Paint Branch, they're going to be the teams that are going to sometimes beat each other up before they get to the playoffs.
Right. Paint Branch, 7-3 last year, missed the playoffs. They're absolutely on a mission this year. And they started off, it was 0-0 after the first quarter in Sherwood. And just things kind of snowballed on them a little bit in the second quarter, and they got behind, and it was a running clock. But that's a very quality team, and I think they'll bounce back.
And Rockville, Clarksburg, no surprise there, out to the 2-0 start. I know Poolesville and Northwood, a little disappointed by their start, but early in the season. And you mentioned the great running back from Rockville, but boy, we've seen some runners really putting some yardage up on the board early on in the season.
And Crusoe Gongbe, tops them all so far. The sophomore from Rockville. We heard about him for the first time during preseason training camp. He's got 365 yards through 2 games, tops the county, 8.9 average. That kid is definitely the real deal, and he'll. You're talking about the Rams kind of trying to build that identity. He'll be a big part of that for the next 3 seasons now.
Mark Small getting to run the ball a little more now this year.
Yep.
That through graduation at Clarksburg, and he's done nicely in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, Small is a great back. They also have Avery Graham, who they can mix in now and again, certainly, but Small carrying the load for the most part. So much talent back for Clarksburg. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see them go 10-0 through the regular season again, although, I'm sure Rockville will have something to say about that.
And, of course, Caleb Porzell is really carrying the ball quite a bit, averaging. It's amazing when he touches the ball. Almost every time he touches the ball, it's first down.
Yeah, I mean, he's he and Avery Graham are the fastest 2 players in the county probably, and even in the WCAC where there's so much fantastic talent, Caleb just outclasses them all, and I think that's what Maryland saw, and I think that's what a lot of his pursuers saw on the college level. So Yeah, he's, like you say, he's kind of getting his chance to carry. He's healthy this year, for unlike last year, and he's an ace for good counsel.
Pretty soon, we're going to be joined by Fred Kim, head coach at Seneca Valley, who coming off a big win that you're going to see next, coming up in about 15 minutes on the VOLiSPORTS Game of the Week. So we will be joined by Fred. But another great year of quarterbacks in Montgomery County. As you look down the list, Wooten, Northwood, Sherwood, Damascus, Seneca Valley, all with quarterbacks and get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. Wooten's thrown the ball a ton this year. You'll get to enjoy that next week. I think, Connor Frazier, again, a little bit like Gong Bay, a guy, he's Kyle Frazier's little brother, and he's looking like he stepped right into that varsity stage, and, there's no drop-off at all in Damascus's passing offense. Spleen at Sherwood, it's consistent now that you're going to see 5 or 6 really, really strong high school quarterbacks at least in Montgomery County.
And they've got a nice group of receivers to throw to, some nice athletes out in the corners.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the big thing. It's, really opened up high school offenses in the past couple of years. You want to get the ball out onto the edge in any way you can. And, a lot of real nice athletes out there. So, it makes things exciting. It loosens things up a little bit, and you're seeing some big numbers through the first 2 weeks. And
our featured game on the VOLiSPORTS Game of the Week in week number 2, a big win. The King's Trophy goes to Seneca Valley. They knock off Northwest 6-0. And joining us now is we'll get Fred on in a second. Fred Kim will be joining us. When you normally see a 6-0 game, you say, wow, boy, defensive battle, not a lot going on right there. But a guy who's going to tell us a lot about going on in that game, Fred Kim, head coach at Seneca Valley. Fred, congratulations on the big win. It must have felt good being able to go to bed Friday night knowing you got another King's Trophy.
Yes, it's a great feeling. Obviously, getting the King's Trophy, second year in a row. Really happy, thrilled with our win, especially playing against a very, very tough and what we felt like was a very well-prepared Northwest football team. They had an outstanding game plan, both offensively and defensively, against us. So they certainly gave us fits on both sides of the ball.
So much, Fred. Folks talk about a team that has a senior quarterback like a George Lurch, but I think a lot of folks walked away from the game at Seneca Valley on Friday night marveling at the way your defense plays, a smothering defense that at times was just dominating.
We were actually surprised. Like I said in the post-game interviews, I was very surprised that we were blank or shut out Northwest. And seeing them on film, they had a lot of different weapons. The Whitfield kid, the tight end, is outstanding, probably the best tight end in the state. They got the kid Hassan Dixon, outstanding running back, who took a lot of big runs in the previous games. He had the big play after big play, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to stop either one of these guys from scoring. Didn't think it was going to happen, so we were very surprised.
Coach Kim, John Waymuller from the Gazette, congratulations on the big win on Friday. Keeping in the theme with the defense, you've got some athletes over there yourself. I can name at least 3 who have college offers right now. Give me the recruiting update on Kenton Powell, Xavier Hughes, and Joe Rankin, and I guess anybody else who's being looked at right now.
Xavier Hughes is our big one. We got a little over 10 offers from most of the MAC schools and University of West Virginia. He's a 3-year starter for us. The quarterback on the defense, obviously just a very well experienced, tremendous football moxie, and a heavy hitter. He brings it real hard. That's just why I think he got a lot of looks from schools. And then you got Joe Rankin, who actually was his first year last year, had an outstanding year, led the league in kicks last year as a corner. He's got an offer from West Point, the Army. Once he shores things up a couple things with academically, I'm sure he'll get a ton more. Kenton Powell, he's got the offer, just got one from Delaware, and of course has one from Buffalo. And I believe a lot of the MAC schools also are extremely interested in him as well. A couple other guys, the guys that actually really stood out for us, they didn't really have anything on the table, but still played as well. And any of those guys, if not better, was Thomas Best, inside linebacker, had 18 solo tackles in that game. Actually broke our single season game record for us in Seneca. And Ryan Phillips, our defensive end, has done an outstanding job also at outside backer defensive end for us this year.
Coach, a lot of the attention, I think, for your guys in the preseason was about the offense, with you bringing in Coach Changuris as the coordinator there. How's the dynamic changed on your staff a little bit with Chang back in the house? Do you spend a little more time on the defense or anything like that?
Last year I was the offensive coordinator, And this year, I decided to bring Shane Gurris back. I lost a couple of experienced coaches and decided to go on the defensive side of the ball and call the defense along with the rest of the staff there. So, I knew Shane Gurris can take care of the offense. Wasn't worried about that. He obviously knows he's very experienced. Got a ton of state championships. Has proven himself. So I just pretty much washed my hands of it, given it to him, and let him run the show up there while I concentrate on defense. We felt like we needed to improve defensively. In the last couple years, we haven't played too well. We need to get a lot better, so we just been really focusing on that this year.